Dans cette vidéo, je vais m'exprimer en français.
And I will talk in English.
Vous êtes le président des États-Unis en 1983, en pleine guerre froide. La tension entre les deux blocs est extrêmement élevée. L'Union soviétique possède un énorme stock d'armes nucléaires pouvant causer la mort de millions de personnes en seulement quelques minutes. Vous aussi possédez ce stock. Si une guerre nucléaire se déclenche, vous en porterez la responsabilité. Comment vous assurer que l'ennemi ne frappera pas en premier ? Voici la situation dans laquelle était plongé Ronald Reagan en 1983. Et dans cette courte vidéo, nous allons voir l'attitude qu'il a décidé d'adopter. Commençons avec quelques éléments contextuels.
Nuclear policy had been driven for decades by the theory of mutually assured destruction, or MAD. The idea is the following: if both you and your enemy have nuclear weapons, then a nuclear war would have devastating consequences for both the attackant and the defender. So you will both refrain from using nuclear weapons. Most likely.
En d'autres termes, le prix à payer pour détruire l'adversaire est d'être détruit à son tour. Qu'en a pensé Ronald Reagan?
Reagan? Well, he didn't trust the MAD policy, describing it as a suicide pact.
That both of us could threaten the other with the death and the annihilation of millions and millions of each other's people. And so that is the deterrent that is supposed to keep us from firing these missiles at each other.
Moreover, he was concerned that the Soviet Union had conducted an important nuclear buildup in the 70s. Therefore, Reagan's goal was to render nuclear weapons obsolete.
Il a donc voulu rendre les missiles soviétiques inutilisables. Mais comment?
In March 1983, Reagan announced the Strategic Defense Initiative, a research effort to develop anti-ballistic missile technology, or ABM. The goal was to intercept and destroy Soviet strategic ballistic missiles before they could reach the US. In short, to protect the US from a massive Soviet nuclear attack.
Vous auriez opté pour un système antibalistique parce qu'à première vue, ça semble être plutôt un bon moyen de se protéger, vous ne pensez pas?
At first sight, yes, but in reality, not really. For the country which possessed them, nuclear weapons lessen the danger of retaliation. This country would therefore be less scared to use offensive weapons or even to launch a preemptive nuclear strike. Hence, a destabilizing effect.
En gros, ces systèmes défensifs peuvent désinhiber les États-Unis et paradoxalement accroître les risques de conflit. Ce programme a donc été lancé en 1983, mais que s'est-il passé par la suite?
Well, the program didn't go far. The technology wasn't ready. It was just ahead of its time. So much so that the program was nicknamed by Senator Ted Kennedy as Star Wars, a reference to the movie. But at first, the Soviet Union didn't know that, and perceived this Star Wars program as a threat. Therefore, the program achievement was actually to force the Soviets into an arms race that they could not win, given their failing economy. Support for the program dropped after the end of the Cold War, and its ambitions were limited to stopping shorter-ranged missiles. Strategic anti-missile systems received a renewed interest in the 2000s to counter nuclear proliferation from Iran and North Korea. Anti-ballistic missile systems are now parts of many countries' defense policies, but even today, they wouldn't be that efficient at stopping a massive attack of long-range nuclear weapons.
L'idée de défense antimissile a donc bien fait son chemin.
Do your country have nuclear weapons? Do you think that they can contribute to global peace through mutually assured destruction? Or do you think they're just a threat to mankind? Let us know in the comments.
Thank you for watching Foreign Chronicles. Don't forget to like the video et à bientôt.
À bientôt.